Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So I thought for 2023 I would kind of revamp things and do this visual diary. I've been trying to find purpose with this channel. I know that I was given this channel for a reason and it's helped a lot of people, but I just have a really hard time figuring out exactly what my purpose is with this channel. So I thought it would be interesting to kind of create a visual diary weekly if I'm able and just talk about different topics. I've gotten asked so many times to restart my podcast, but just in the season of life, it's just been so crazy. So I feel like this is kind of a fun way to be able to connect with you guys, share my thoughts and what I'm doing weekly. But also be able to encourage you all and help to give you guys some advice. So today I thought we would just talk about the new year. It's kind of cliche because I feel like everyone, does one video at least about the new year, but I just wanted to talk about it from a non-hype, super excited kind of mindset. I feel like every year I go into the new year and I'm so excited. I have such a clear vision of what it is that I want. Last year was a really, really tough year for us. The end of 2021, we went through our first miscarriage and we just had a lot of stuff happened. I was friends with some people, just long relationships, and I just knew it wasn't good for me anymore. And so I ended a ton of relationships and just like my whole world completely changed. And so entering into 2022, I was really excited. I told myself that I wanted the new year to feel peaceful and I wanted to just get really healthy and just focus on having inner peace. And I feel like I completely did that. And I think that my mind and body and spirit, everything reacted so well to that. And we actually, after over 3 years of trying to get pregnant, we finally got pregnant. So here I am today, 8 months pregnant with this little miracle. We are due March 14th, and it is such an exciting time of our lives right now, but also it feels so overwhelming. And I think this is why kind of going into the new year, it's like I just can't really get a vision of what I want. And like I said before, normally I go into the new year and it's just so clear to me. I had a year where surrender was my word, and I just remember just kind of like leaving everything up to God and His timing, especially because we were really in the trenches of infertility at that point. And so I remember just being like, God, whatever you want to happen, I'm just going to let it happen, and I'm not gonna get upset about anything anymore. And that was like such an amazing year for me. And then the next year, which was last year, was all about inner peace. And again, I feel like that really taught me so much, and I'm bringing that still into this new year. I'm a chronic people pleaser, and I just let people walk all over me, talk to me however they want. So it's just been something that I've been really wanting for myself, to be able to learn how to stand up for myself and be able to, allow and just like show people how to treat me better than they do. And Connor has been coaching me through it, so I'm very grateful for him. But going into this new year, I just feel so confused on what I want. And I always thought that becoming a mom, I was going to enter my Proverbs 31 era and Little House on the Prairie era, and like I was just going to enter this new phase of just feeling so peaceful, and I wasn't going to be working as much. But the flip side is just so completely opposite. Right now, Connor and I, we both own our own businesses, and both of our businesses were doing great. Even like throughout COVID, I feel like God really provided for us and we were doing great. But this past season, just the past like few months of our businesses just feels so hard. And especially with my husband doing snow plowing in the winter, we've only had one snowstorm here in New York, and it was very minimal, so we only had to do a few houses. So it just kind of feels like one of those very dry seasons where we're like, oh my goodness, like, things financially just feel overwhelming, and it just feels so uncertain. And I feel like I'm having to push myself and work 10 times more than I did in the past to kind of just even keep up with things. And I'm sure so many of you can relate to that. But being in this season of finally being pregnant, I always just thought like I would kind of step back a little, but it's just the complete opposite. So I think that's why I'm having such a hard time kind of visualizing what my future is going to look like. One thing that I've learned from so many different trials that I've gone through is that I always feel the closest to God, and God always works the best in the trenches and in the valleys of life, because that is when you're drawing closer to Him and trying to read, with the Word more, and just trying to like pray more and trying to figure out things more. And that's often when He gives you the biggest breakthrough. So I've been trying to focus on that. And also something else I've realized in my life too is that whenever something amazing is happening, like when Connor and I were getting married, I remember there were people coming into our not into our relationship, but just coming in our path and trying to tear us down, trying to discourage us. And I remember it was like the happiest time of my life, but also was so hard because we had all of these trials from other people. And that has just happened with so many of the major exciting events in our lives. But that is just the enemy trying to come in, trying to steal your joy, and trying to distract you from all of the good that's happening in your life. So right now we have the goodness of this little boy coming. And so I know that all of these uncertainties that we're facing right now are just distractions and trying to distract us from what an amazing miracle this is, and just how exciting things should be. And so I'm trying to not lean into all of those fears and worries, and just trying really hard to focus on gratitude and everything amazing that's happening in our lives. In every one of my past videos, I feel like I'm always talking about Transformation Church, but they seriously just helped both Connor and I through so many of our hard, dark times. And I put on one of their newer messages this morning. It's called A Collision with Vision. And I felt like it was so perfect because, like I said, I didn't have a vision for the new year. I still don't. But in that message, it's just like Him encouraging you to pray and ask God for a vision. And it just sounds like so duh, like of course, why don't you do that? And I don't know why I didn't think of it before, but I'm like, that is what I need to start doing every morning, is just pray that God gives me a clear vision of the future and exactly what I'm supposed to be working towards. Because I think when you have a clear vision of exactly what you want, it's so much easier to kind of go about your day and to plan things out, because then you have that reason why. So like then you know, okay, I'm working this hard because this is what I want my future to look like. And it helps to like make you organize your life and just get better control of everything. So a couple of the points that I loved that he said was, don't be limited by sight. And I think for both Connor and I, this is like a really, really good point, because everything right now just looks so uncertain, but God is not a God of sight. Like He has so many things planned for you that you cannot even see, you cannot even imagine. And I think that is just the most exciting thing, is just knowing that there is something so incredible out there for us that we have no idea what it is. And these little thoughts in our head of like, oh, maybe I would like to have a house, on some land. And God is like laughing, because He's like, no, I have this beautiful place for you planned. And His plans are always just so much greater than ours and so much better than ours because he can just do anything. So I just encourage you guys to just remember that and don't focus so much on what you see right now, but focus on what God is speaking to you and just to focus on all of the goodness that will come in your life. Another thing that Michael Todd said in his message was he felt God telling him at some point in his life that he said, I can only bless your ministry to what your body can handle. And this just stood out to me so much because I feel like that is what God's doing with Connor and I right now. And he's like, I'm not giving you guys all of this work because you guys need to relax before this baby gets here. And sometimes God puts us in these seasons of intentional rest where we feel so overwhelmed because we're like, no, I need to be working, I need to be doing this. But God's like, no, you need to be resting. And sometimes just resting is so important. And I know in today's society, rest is just like a no-no, but I think we have to all get back to that. So I hope this was encouraging to you guys. Let me know what other topics you want me to talk about, and I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.